You alright?
Yeah, I'm not too bad.
What you up to?
Can I ask you why you're engaged in me?
Stop there a minute.
Why?
I'm just trying to identify who you are because you've got your face covered and you've... what's your name, please, sir?
I don't have to give you my name.
Okay, well, at this moment in time, we believe that you might well be wanted. Okay. Well, we'll cross that bridge in a minute once we've confirmed it. So that's why we need to identify who you are. It's all right. We'll do it another way. Just bear with us a second.
You start with your first name, please, sir.
Don't believe I have to provide your name.
Okay. Well, I believe that you're wanted, right? Okay. Just by your description alone, right? So I believe that you're wanted off a briefing that I've received today, right? So we can do it one of two ways.
Wanted for what?
Well, wanted for an offence.
What offence?
Well, wanted for an offence of harassment, actually. So I need to check you out in order to see A, if it is you, or B, if it isn't you, right? And if it isn't you, I'll bid you good day and off you go.
From the very first moment, the officer's behavior raises alarm bells. He halts the auditor on nothing more than a vague morning briefing, no clear description, no crime identified, just a blanket assumption. And instead of calmly explaining why, he jumps straight to demanding personal details, offering no solid justification. This isn't careful policing, it's reckless guesswork hidden behind a badge. When the auditor refuses to hand over his name, the officer blurts out, "If it's not you, I'll let you go." That single line exposes the shaky logic at play, your freedom hinging on proving you're not someone else. But in the UK, the law doesn't bend that way. Officers must have real, specific grounds, tight, credible evidence, not loose guesses or broad alerts, to justify a stop.
So if we start with your first name, or are we going to have to get a fingerprint scanner down here and find out who you are, or take you down to custody to try and identify you because you refuse to give me details?
I haven't committed an offence.
Okay, so if you haven't committed any offences, can I start with your first name, please, sir?
I don't need to give you my first name.
Okay, well, I believe you to be Christopher Green, and I'm detaining you currently.
I am not Christopher Green.
Right, okay,
that's fine,
that's fine, but you're currently being detained up until the point that I can establish who you are. You're refusing to give me some details, so I need to establish who you are.
Please ask you to identify yourself?
Yeah, I'm PC 17768 Neil Williams.
And you, please?
Sergeant 15563.
Thank you.
Right,
which
okay,
station?
Can we make it nice and easy for us and start giving just the first name, please?
Can I ask you which station you're from?
Yeah, I work at Withenshaw Police Station, work part of the X Department and part of the Transport Unit for Great Manchester Police.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yep.
So we're going to start with your name then, please. And if there's nothing wrong, then we'll send you on your way.
The moment the officer declares, "I believe you to be Christopher Green," the atmosphere changes. Despite the auditor's calm denial, the officer presses on, not to confirm the truth, but to seize control. This wasn't a search for a suspect, it was a challenge to someone daring to stand on their rights. The auditor wasn't hostile, evasive, or difficult, he simply refused to give his name without legal cause. That's a right, not a crime. But then comes the most dangerous step, publicly naming an innocent man as a wanted suspect, with no proof. Under the UK GDPR and the Data Protection Act 2018, personal data must be handled with extreme caution. To throw out a full name in public, without certainty, isn't just sloppy, it's potentially defamatory, even unlawful. In that moment, two reputations hung in the balance, for nothing.
It's not Christopher Green.
Okay. 100 Alpha. And what is your name, please? And have you got anything to identify yourself?
I don't believe I have to answer these questions.
Right. You don't believe that you have to add, right, okay, well, I believe you to be wanted, right? So make it easy for us. Give us your details, identify yourself, show me some identification.
I don't believe I have to identify myself.
Well, you do.
We could arrest you, take you to custody and put you on a live scan machine. There's a necessity, if you're not giving your name and address, for us to verify who you are if we believe you to be wanted from the information we've got. So you can
I don't have to do that. You've not provided me with any grounds for arrest.
Right, take your hands out your pocket so I can see them. I need to identify you. I'm trying to make it easy for you here, sir. So what I want,
I'm not in
what I want
any
is,
threat to you.
No,
guys.
no, not at all.
No, I'm not.
You had your hands in your pockets, and I don't know who you are.
Even after detaining the auditor in broad daylight, the officer still offers nothing solid, no clear crime, no concrete evidence, just a flimsy claim about a vague description. When the auditor calmly demands to know the legal grounds for the stop, the officer dodges. Instead of an answer, he fixates on the auditor's hands in his pockets, a weak distraction meant to manufacture suspicion out of thin air. And then comes the moment that strips everything bare. The officer admits, "I don't know who you are." That single line reveals the truth. This wasn't about a crime. It wasn't about a suspect. It was about an officer who didn't recognize someone, and twisted that unfamiliarity into justification for detention.
Up until the point that you identify yourself, make it easy for us, and if it isn't you, and I can establish who you are, and I can clearly identify you, then I'll send you on your way, right? Okay. But by you being obstructive at the moment...
I'm not being obstructive.
Well, you are, because you're refusing to provide us some details.
No, because I don't believe lawfully that I have to give you those details because I haven't committed any offence of harassment. I'm sorry.
Right, okay. Well, I believe you to be wanted, so I want you to, I need you to identify yourself in order for me to make those inquiries, and once I make those inquiries and find out that you are either wanted or you're free to go, I will then send you on your way, okay? Oh, no, don't, excuse me, I'm speaking.
You've asked me whether I'm Christopher Green, and I've said I'm not Christopher Green.
Right, and all I'll say to you is, right, identify yourself, because,
stop giving me orders.
I'm the police here.
Speak to me respectfully.
I have done, I've tried.
Speak to me respectfully.
What I'll say to you is, you're not going anywhere up until the point that I can clearly identify you, okay?
Right, but please continue to speak to me respectfully. Okay,
so what's your name, please?
To speak to you always respectfully.
With your name, please?
Through it all, the auditor stays composed, firmly within his rights, making it clear he hasn't broken any law and isn't required to present ID without proper grounds. But instead of professionalism, the officer cracks. His voice rises, snapping, "No, no, I'm the police here." That outburst speaks volumes. Shouting a title doesn't make an action lawful, it only exposes a loss of control. Instead of relying on procedure or evidence, the officer leans on volume and intimidation, an attempt to force compliance through pressure. And when authority is wielded with emotion rather than law, it casts a long shadow of doubt over the true motive behind the stop.
I'm not giving you my name.
Right, have you got any ID on you?
I'm not. I don't have to do this.
The problem is, we suspect you of an offence.
Why do you believe that you don't have to do this?
Because I don't believe I've committed a criminal offence.
Right, okay. Well, then make it easy for me, sir, right?
I don't have to make anything easy for you.
Yeah, you do, unfortunately.
No, I don't.
Why are you being so obstructive? If you're not committed any offence, we can check your details then.
I don't have to discuss anything with you.
Why are you trying to avoid it?
I'm not trying to avoid anything.
Because it's going to be a long process for you if we have to take you to custody and put you on one of them live scan machines to find out who you are.
Well,
so it'll be a lot straightforward if you just give us your details. We can check if you want to not. If you're not, absolutely fine, which is what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm not Christopher Green, and I'm saying I'm not committed to offensive harassment.
Who are you then?
I've just told you I don't believe that I have to give you that information.
The auditor isn't causing trouble, he's simply standing firm on his rights, refusing to hand over personal details without lawful cause. That's not defiance. That's the very right police are sworn to uphold. But instead of respecting it, the officer shifts tactics, turning to pressure. He warns of a long custody process, not because it's required, but as punishment for non-compliance. Then comes the telling remark, a reference to the live scan machine. It exposes the real strategy, using inconvenience as leverage. When threats replace legal grounds, it's no longer policing, it's coercion. In the end, the officer doesn't weaken the auditor's position, he proves it. Because true authority isn't built on intimidation, it's built on law.
And if I do, then I can give it to your desk sergeant, or I can give it to a judge.
Please, so I can see exactly who you are.
No.
I'm going to let go of your arm now, yeah? Okay. What what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to be putting your hands in your pockets, right?
You I won't do that.
Okay, because I need to be satisfied that you've not got something that can harm me or anyone else.
I promise you, there's nothing in my pockets that could harm you.
It is, isn't it? Boss.
Do you want to go and have a look at that picture upstairs?
So guys, it looks like I'm going to be arrested here. I'll just turn this off.
Right, you're under arrest on suspicion of harassment.
According to the evidence, unlawfully arrested. I've now passed the case on to HNK, and they are currently considering all of the information before they either accept or reject the case, and I'll let you know what happens there, guys.
This case stands out as perhaps the most troubling in a long chain of questionable police decisions. From the start, the officer never provided a lawful reason for the stop, yet continued demanding ID with no legal grounds. When the auditor refused, well within his rights, the officer abandoned reason and chose arrest. No crime. No evidence. Just a collapse of proper policing. The auditor, known as Autistic Audit, was doing something entirely legal, peacefully filming outside the BBC. Yet officers escalated on the basis of a vague briefing and an unconfirmed description. The lead officer went so far as to publicly state, "I believe you to be Christopher Green," saying the full name out loud, an alarming breach of privacy, especially without proof. As the auditor calmly pressed for legal justification, frustration boiled over. One officer snapped, shouting, "No, no, I'm the police here," while another warned of a long custody process, thinly veiled threats meant to force compliance. This wasn't about safety. It was about control. And in the end, the auditor was arrested. No solid ID. No solid evidence. Just poor assumptions and overreach. But the story didn't end there. HNK solicitors took the case, and won. That victory wasn't just personal, it was a warning shot. A reminder that policing without accountability comes with consequences. Because when vague suspicion replaces solid legal reasoning, rights are trampled, privacy is shattered, and taxpayers pay the price for mistakes that should never have happened. Thanks for watching. If you found this coverage valuable, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to check out Autistic Audit, his channel link is in the description. Until next time, stay informed, stay aware.